Happy Monday, everyone. All right, so I started out my Monday the way I usually do. It's coffee and kids and then come to work, and I hop into the Special Education Inner Circle. For those of you that don't know, that's the online training program for parents and teachers to really help you build a special education program that works for your child and for your students. So all your questions answered, all the resources there. And one of the things that happens is a Q&A thread where I go in and I answer all the questions from parents and teachers. Of course, over the weekend, there's always questions that are put in that are keeping parents and teachers up at 3 a.m. It's just how it works, right? Always at the wrong time, it seems. Something gets stuck in your brain and you're just like, why is this happening, or how do I fix this? So I'm looking over here at my computer screen, and I'm going to read to you a little bit about the question that a mom asked. She says that it revolves around having a teacher in the classroom. My son is pulled out of gen ed and put into the life skills classroom, which we hate and have asked not to happen because whenever the parent has visited the classroom, nothing has been happening, and the longest that they've seen the teacher is 10 minutes in the classroom. The rest of the time is just the students and the paras. And she wants to know, how do we advocate for him being in a room with a teacher? And they've been told that it's just coincidence that every time we've come in during the last year, and they were all planned visits, that the teacher's not there. So it doesn't really sound like a coincidence, right? What it sounds like, having been a teacher myself in the past, what it sounds like is that the teacher has something going on in her caseload that's not quite working for her to be where she needs to be. And that's tough as a teacher because the administrator, it sounds like, whether this is the special ed director, this is the principal, whoever this is that's giving the answer, if that's a coincidence, that person feels like the teacher has the ability to be in the classroom. The teacher themselves may feel like they don't have the ability because maybe there's something going on in their classroom, whether they are taking care of another student who might have some more intensive needs, whether they have to be in another classroom, maybe co-teaching throughout part of the day or helping a teacher do some modifications and supports. Whatever's happening might just be pulling the teacher from the classroom, and the administrator might not know. So parent leaves this question, and here was my answer for her. So any of you that have struggled with this, that I really have asked her to flip her frustration into focusing on her child's education, meaning that I want to know what's happening in that classroom, where's the data, where's the supports, where's the meaningful educational goal during that classroom time, what's really happening for her child. So if we have the discussion and the argument about where the teacher is at and is the teacher doing her job, that becomes the parent trying to control the teacher's day. I know that you may not think that. If you're a parent, you're listening. But remember, I worked behind the scenes. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm telling you that the feel is this parent's trying to control this teacher, when really that's not what you're doing. What you're trying to do is be an equal participant and be a voice for your child who is entitled to have an appropriate education. So let's flip over that thought process and start working on collecting the data, figuring out what supports are happening in that classroom, what is the outcome during those chunks of the day that the child is in the life skills classroom. So let's flip the conversation into special education results versus worrying about the teacher's schedule. Now, do we need the teacher's schedule to change, or the teacher instruction or teacher support? Do we need that to change to get those results? Most likely. So both conversations, maybe from a parent's point of view, feel like, well, you're working towards the same outcome. But how we frame that conversation and what our focus is on really it really controls the conversation direction from being a no, that's just a coincidence. The teacher's there. We promise the teacher's there. We know where our teachers are at. We know what's going on, to really focusing on the IEP data and progress, supports, and services, which is where your real input cannot, I'm going to say something somebody's going to say, yes, they can, but I'm going to say cannot be denied, meaning that it doesn't mean that you get everything that you ask for, but it needs to be acknowledged. So they can brush off the conversation trying to control the teacher's schedule. But they cannot brush off when you have legitimate concerns about a meaningful education for your child making appropriate progress and being prepared for further education, employment, independent living. Now, did you hear all those words? All those words that I had when I was focusing on the child's education versus where's the teacher? How come the teacher's not here? What if the teacher was there and still had other things going on and still couldn't get to the meaningful education with the supports, the services, and all that? So do you really just want the teacher there, or do you want a meaningful education? Bottom line is you want a meaningful education. Now, how we get there is going to be getting a teacher who can teach during those times and not be overwhelmed with their caseload. I'm making an assumption there, but again, been there, done that, enough to see that a lot of times this is what's happening. So, Nikki says, I've been asked in writing to go observe academic time. The principal says I cannot go in the classroom because of the privacy of, let me see if I can get the rest. I already know the answer though. The rest of the other students, I was told I could eat lunch with them. Okay, so here's the thing. Did you ask to see the privacy policy? Because it doesn't exist. Did you sign a privacy policy for your child, Nikki? No, you did not. So the privacy excuse for observing your child is null and void. It is not there. They do not have a policy that says, really every lunch lady, every classroom volunteer, everybody has done something to get around that privacy policy? No, because it's a public school. So that doesn't exist. And if a version of it exists, it definitely does not exist to the extent that they're saying that it exists to keep you out of the classroom. So ask to see the policy. Make sure that you know in your gut you have not signed a privacy policy for your own child, which means other people are seeing your child, which means that you can go in, and then work it out. So I don't want you to say there's no policy in a combative way, and I didn't sign one for my own child, but I want you to know that information so when you go have that discussion of, in order to be an equal member of my child's team, I need to view, and then whatever you're trying to view, okay, you know what, and give a time limit. Let them know that you're not going to go sit in there for 2 hours. That would be boring anyway, right? So make sure that they know that you're looking for, to specifically so you can see what's going on. You're not looking to throw somebody under the bus. So here again, I'm gonna use my teacher experience here, having worked behind the scenes and then sitting at literally thousands of IEP tables. It's usually because the school has been burned by another parent at some point in time, and you have to build that trust back, and you're catching kind of the fallout of the team being burned. Sarah says, when my school pulled something similar, they said it was a FERPA violation. Nah, go look it up. Go tell them to say, show me the policy, and then ask them how other people who are room moms and PTA people, how are they going in and seeing all the kids? So it's no. And here's I don't want this to be something that's going to cause undue stress, meaning that for all the teachers and that are listening, I'm not suggesting that parents come in with their armor on saying, let me see my child, I'm coming to observe, because the teacher's not doing her job. Most of the time, parents are coming in because they're trying to figure out what's going on because my kid's not doing well. They're having meltdowns. I don't know if this is the right placement. There's a lot of parenting decisions that go into the IEP process. So teachers, when you see that parents want to be more involved into the education, it's your job to help collaborate with them, even when it feels like you might be putting yourself under the magnifying glass. That's okay. There were times where, quite honestly, and teachers don't say this, teachers will not admit that. There were times where I could not do my job well because of the caseload that I had, and there was nothing I could do from the boss. In fact, my best advocate would be a parent who would have come in and looked at the classroom to see that I can't be in 2 places at once. Just like how we just started this Q&A here, right? Where the parent's like, where's the teacher? I could not be in 2 places at once. In fact, the one classroom that I had to be in like 4 places at once. It was a junior high. There were changing of schedules. I'm supposed to be supporting this kid while I'm supposed to be taking care of my classroom because I ran a self-contained classroom, but I was the case manager of this other time. I had to be in so many different places. And there was absolutely no way for me to kind of complain up the chain, because my bosses made it very clear to me that they know that I'm supposed to be in 4 places at once and I should just figure it out. So I couldn't do anything else. I will tell you, I ended up quitting that job. Absolutely ended up quitting that job. So it was not something that I could ethically or morally do to stay in that role when I knew I was not serving the children well. Because I went into special education to go serve children with different learning needs and to give them as much as I can to prepare them for the future. You guys know I'm a special needs sibling. I'm not going in to go be a special education teacher to give the bare minimum or to take it away. I'm going in to give everything, to wear my heart on my sleeve, to put it all out there, to exhaust myself. But I can't clone myself and be in 4 places at once. It was absolutely impossible. So sometimes teachers, when you feel like you can't do your job well, sometimes the best thing that can happen, unless you're honest to goodness teaching and it's not your jam. Maybe you've tried a certain classroom or classroom structure or a certain district and it's just not your jam and it really is not working out. Most of the time when a parent sees you struggling in the classroom, they know it's not because you're a bad teacher. It's because you don't have enough staff, you don't have enough resources, if there's too many kids on your caseload. They will see that if you are open and honest with them when they come to an observation. And that doesn't mean spill all of that, because that doesn't work out well either for you. It just means don't be afraid, because most parents want to come in, they want to see what's going on, and they want to collaborate with you to move forward. And once you get through this uncomfortable situation, you are going to be able to be better at your job, because your parent that thought that you weren't doing well now becomes your ally in getting you things, whether it's additional staff or supports or services, to do your job better. So if you guys have questions about how you can come into the special education inner circle, just let me know. If you are ready to become a master IEP coach, so this exact situation, I'm actually with my master IEP coaches in a private Facebook community right now, going through this situation with them so they can help the hundreds and really thousands of parents who are struggling with the same type of situation. So if you don't just want answers for yourself, but you want answers so you can help your own family and classroom and help other people, that's becoming a master IEP coach. You just need to put the word coach down below and I will make sure to get you the link. Our final mentorship for 2019 is coming up real soon, and there will not be another one this year. And there's only going to be one after this one in the entire school year. There's only 2 opportunities this school year because our program is growing and I need to put full attention in there. So there will be one this fall and there will be one this spring. And I'll be honest with you, the fall one right now has the most dynamic group of parents and teachers and therapists that I've ever seen together in a group ready to work on solutions that make sense. Nikki wants to know, am I in the Charlotte area next week? I am. Nikki, I believe that you sent an email in there. I'm doing teacher trainings, but I need to connect you with Lorena. Lorena Pierce is going to be speaking. She's a master IEP coach. She's at the same event that I'm at. I'm doing some teacher training pieces. She's doing some teacher trainings from the parent perspective, but she's also, or it might be another person. I have to figure it out who's doing some parent workshops and such. I will meet as many people as I can for coffee, and maybe we have to do a special education coffee talk while I'm in Charlotte, maybe outside of that teacher training. So Nikki, maybe we need to plan that out. Shoot me an email and remind me that I just said that, so we can put something together and maybe do a quick little mini event either before or after my speaking at that teacher training event. That's for the Down Syndrome Association of Greater Charlotte. That's who is doing an educator symposium, and I'm being brought in to train teachers on a couple of different things. We're going to talk about creating epic classroom experiences. We're going to talk about mama bears and IEPs, because when I talk out here, and I'm talking mostly to parents that are here, but there's some teachers leaning in, I go in and I talk to teachers, and teachers need to know how to work with mama bears. And that's legit, right? Like, we know that there are ways that the team could support special needs moms in a better way, while still fully doing their job and fully empowering a parent. So I'm going to be teaching those strategies. And then I'm also going to be teaching Face It to Fix It. And so that's really about how to get through some of these situations and get things documented, and what advocacy letters really can look like, and how teachers can help parents get things in writing and bring these kind of tough situations to the surface to get through them, and why it's better for everyone when we do that. So a lot of different strategies that are not typical IEP trainings. I'm not going to teach a teacher how to write a better IEP goal, because it's not about writing a perfect IEP goal. It's about a child making progress. Progress, not perfection, right? All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Keep those questions coming. I hope to see you guys inside the Master IEP Coach Mentorship and the Special Education Inner Circle, and I'll see you guys soon.